Now, like I said, this is a brand new Vaillant pump head. That's a Vaillant pump head. And what they've done, they've taken the Vaillant lead and attached it onto this. Welcome to this week's Day in the Life of a Gas Engineer video. A certain someone wants to say hello before I get started with my intro.
Hello.
What else do you want to say?
I'm Arian and I play with my toys.
Okay, so he's Arian and he plays with his toys. Moving on, this video is all about breakdowns, which is why I started doing YouTube, because I started learning breakdowns from other people, and this is my way of giving back to other breakdown engineers. Hopefully you can pick up some tips and tricks from what I do, especially the last breakdown. It might get you out of a pickle.
Subscribe.
Yeah, like Arian said, don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, because we want to my channel. Anything else you want to say?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
We want to hit 8,000 by the end of the year, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you hit those two little buttons. Pause it now. Hit those two little buttons. Thumbs up button, subscribe button, and let's move on. Right, first job today. We've got an Electra Combi boiler. So firstly, pressure is a bit high. It's at 3 bar, so we'll drain that down in a minute. But the issue that the customer is saying is when they run the hot tap, it's sort of going hot and cold, hot and cold. So I'm starting with the temperature clamps just to check if it's the plate or not. So right now we've got 23 degrees on the cold and 27 degrees on the hot. So obviously there's nothing running at the moment, so temperatures are pretty stable. So first thing we're going to do is run a hot tap and see what sort of temperature differential we'll get on here, and also see what happens to the boiler temperature as well, if it shoots up or not. That will indicate whether or not it's a block plate. Depending what I find there, I'll then probably move this temperature clamp, which is on the hot outlet, onto the flow pipe and see if we're getting heat going down the flow pipe, which could indicate a faulty diverter valve. So let's run a hot tap first and see what happens. Okay, boiler's fired up. That's getting hot. Diverter valve, I think. Straight away, because that is getting roasting hot. So the temperature coming out of the boiler for the water is only, it's still climbing, but let's see. Doesn't seem to be overheating. Boiler temperature is holding steady. So I don't think it's the plate. I reckon it's the diverter. So that's dropped down to 36. So that's dropping. Flame's still on. I'm going to shut the flow pipe and see. Which way does that turn? The PRV pipe's in the way. Turn the return. That's definitely cooled down. Hot water temperature has dropped down to 34. Yeah, that's sort of marrying up with the boiler temperature as well. So we'll see if I can get one of these valves to turn off and see if that improves it at all. Right, so I've taken the handle off of this so I could get the flow valve to close. And since I've closed that, that temperature is rising. So we're now at 43 degrees. That was down to about 34, 35 initially. And since I've turned it off, that's starting to climb and we're getting a more consistent temperature coming out of the hot water tap. So that's 44. So that's the clamps. So yeah, on the thermometer we've got 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So let that run for a few minutes just to make sure that doesn't drop. I mean, that's now at 47 on the temperature clamps and we've got 50 coming out the tap. So I'm pretty confident that it is the diverter valve that's failed because the boiler's not overheating. It's still running constantly, but since closing off the flow pipe or the flow valve, now getting an increase in temperature to the hot taps. And that's at 48 now. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the diverter valve. So I'll whip the case off of this, find out the details of it, make sure we get the right diverter valve because I believe there's a couple of different ones depending on the model of it, and then come back and get that replaced once it comes in. Right, next breakdown, got an Ecotech Plus, Ecotech Plus 831, which they're saying that when they run the hot tap, it's making some noises. They've had some fault codes as well. So actually, let's go in and check the, no, that's D codes. I always forget on these ones. Let's go back. It's, there we go. F28, F29, F29, F22, F22. So it seems to be a low pressure issue. And they've also said that they've noticed some water leaking from the bottom of the boiler as well. So I'm gonna run the hot tap first and see what the boiler's doing, what kind of noise it's making. We'll get the case off, see what's going on inside, if we can identify where it's leaking from. And if I've got the parts on the van, I can try and get it done today. If not, we'll see what we can do. But let's do our initial checks first. So, diverter valve looks like it's been recently, well, I don't know how recent, but it looks like it's the new style one, but that is leaking again because underneath, if you see on the screw, you know, let me turn, there we go. So you see on the screw, you can see the rust, and that's been dripping down from the diverter valve, and inside there, you can see the spindle has got signs of leaking on it. So diverter valve is leaking, but let's see. They're also saying that there was a leak coming from the flow turbine as well. So I'm going to run the water and see if I can see anything leaking from there as well. And they're also saying it was making like a whistling noise. So there might be a fault with the turbine as well, but let's just run it through its paces and see what it does. So I've taken the diverter motor out and now you can see inside there, that spindle is definitely leaking. So got the go ahead. So I'm going to be changing this. Luckily I have got in here somewhere just a diverter body, so I'm able to do it for a little bit cheaper for the customer because the motor itself is absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with that. And I had one in my van where I just nicked the motor off of it where it was faulty on another one, so I've got a full body, it's a plastic one, so doing it for cheaper price for the customer, so it saves them a bit of money on that. But I've also noticed that that's showing signs of staining as well, so I'm going to be changing the turret seal and the flue seal and also the control knobs because that's broken as well. So start by doing all the wet work first, get this drained down, recharge the vessel as well and all that jazz, and then we'll crack on. Right, phase one complete. So new diverter body and reuse the old motor because there's nothing wrong with that. So we'll back up the pressure, just purging that, getting all the air out of it. Whilst that's purging, I'm gonna do the turret seal in the meantime because that can be doing its thing. It's not gonna affect me doing that. So I'll crack on with that next. Right, so I've changed the washers on that because the ones that I put in, they seemed a little bit soft. So I thought I had another set of Vaillant washers So pop those in, and they do seem a little bit more rigid, and so far so good, but time will tell. So let that go through its purge again and do that in the meantime, so that way I know if that does leak in that time, it's been doing it for long enough for me to see it. But yeah, I'll crack on with that now. Alright, boiler is back up and running. Turret seal, that was the condition of the old one, so it's on its way out. I mean, that lip is completely gone, so that would have been leaking. Diverter valve is all good, so the new washers seem to have done the trick. That's not leaking no more. So now I'm just letting the analyzer purge out, and then I'm gonna do my 26.9 checks. Do a sweep test around there, make sure that's all okay. Do my FGA and everything, make sure the boiler's running sweet, and then we should be out of here. Right, this one, I've got a Glowworm Betacom 24C, flame failure light. So first thing I'm going to do is reset that. Okay, now let's run hot tap. Just make sure I've got that pipe the right way as well. Okay, so that is the hot, so it's piped the right way. Alright, now that's seized. There we go. Okay, going straight to flame failure. Let's get the case off and have a look, see what's going on. Right, so I've had it before on one of my other videos. You may remember the condense trap at the back has got this rectification lead also linked in series with it. So I've just taken that off, and I want to fire the boiler again and see if it actually fires now, if it stays on. Alright, so we've got a flame. Now, this was locking out within like a couple of seconds. Right, that's staying on a bit longer. So I'm going to pop the case back on and test it again to make sure it's not anything to do with air intake. So our combustion case is back on. Boiler's staying on still. Still got hot water. Now what I'm going to do is, where's that rectification? If I pop that back onto there, will it take it out? Yeah. Look, the flame's gone out. Back on again. But if that keeps cycling on and off, then we know that's going to be the problem. So I'm going to let that run for a few minutes now like that. Right, you may have seen me come to this shop a few times. Electro Gas, because they do bits that you can't get anywhere else. Hello, Uncle.
Hello, how are you?
You're on camera.
Okay.
Because Uncle here, he's got parts that you can't get anywhere else. I need the Vaillant pump head for the Vaillant. You know, the silver one?
Yeah, no problem.
See, now this, normally you'd have to change the whole pump with the housing, but they've got replacement pump head, which is going to save you guys a lot of time, a lot of money, and just get the job done quicker. So I'll show you once we get it out. So this is the pump head. So in some of the older Vaillants, you'll get these one with the silver face. So it's got the Vaillant pump rather than Grundfos pump. Now, this isn't it's not an original Vaillant part, but what these guys here have done, they've taken a brand new Vaillant pump and just basically attach the Vaillant connector plug onto it. Yeah, they'll open it up. So if you've got any old Vaillant pumps, bring them in here. They'll take the leads off of you and they'll either attach it onto this for you or you'll get some cash back for bringing in a lead. And that's what they use them for. And then that literally just wires straight into there, brand new pump, and that goes straight into the PCB. So it just saves you a lot of time and just gets the job done quicker. And I've also got to get one of these. They do original parts as well. So literally anything and everything that you need, you can pretty much get it from here. And you got branch in Southeast London?
In Edmonton?
Edmonton?
Yeah, in Southeast.
Southeast.
SE6.
SE6. There you go. So North London, South London, East London, they've got you covered. You just need one in West London now.
Yeah, of course.
And then we'll have all of London covered.
Next year, maybe.
Next year. Right, I'm going to get this pump done and I'll show you guys in the next video. Right, you might remember this one from a few videos ago, quite a few videos ago. You can see what I've done here before. Diverter, pressure sensor, AAV, PCB clips and flue screws. Come back here for an F75. So obviously I've had a new pressure sensor on there. So I already preempted that it's going to be the pump, but let's just give that a test. So reset that. And normally that would start doing something. Yeah, see, look, you've got the pump symbol there. Nothing on there. Now, I can't be bothered to take all that out, but this isn't the official way. But if you want to check, got power going to the pump. Pump's not spinning. It's a dead pump. So this is why I picked this up today. Because I've already changed the pressure sensor before. Like I said, I had a feeling it's going to be the pump with F75. Now, like I said, this is a brand new Vaillant pump head. That's a Vaillant pump head. And what they've done, they've taken the Vaillant lead and attached it onto this, connected it into there, so we can literally just do a direct pump head swap rather than having to change the whole housing, because Vaillant don't do this pump anymore. So if you were to change it, you'd have to, if you can get hold of the 178983 Grundfos pumps, you can change it for that. They're about 180 quid, I think. But then you'd have to change the whole housing and everything. But once those are out of production, you've got to fit the ERP pumps, which are, I think, around 300 quid. Then you get the new lead to go onto the PCB as well. But save your customers some money. These are about 90 to 100 quid. Brand new pump head, Vaillant lead attached to it. Direct pump head swap, gets the job done. Right, boiler's been drained out. Expansion vessel's been recharged. Remember, on these, it's a H5 connection rather than a H4 connection. So let's just start undoing this. Right, new pump is in. Just checking around it, making sure there's no leaks, which there isn't. That's good. Got some pressure in there. So let's now turn it on. And P0, purge it. So again, just want to check whilst it's purging, making sure there's no leaks anywhere, which doesn't seem to be. And the main thing is, you can hear the pump running now, so that's definitely a good sign. Let's see what was up with this one. Was it completely? Yeah, look. That should be spinning freely. Completely jammed up. No bother. Uncle CP's on the case, so that's another job done. That's another loft, and another hot day of the year. Let's get out of here.